It's teamwork and a full-body workout to get the sails up on the Pride of Baltimore II.
The whole point about this is that everyone has to work together, right? No one can raise this sail alone, it's massive, right? So even if they haven't done it before, or if they've done it for years beforehand.
Bay Bulletin went out on the second sail of the season.
It's just stepping back in time and having the sails hoisted and thinking about what Baltimore was during the days of the tall ships and when sail was power as opposed to motor.
On this day, Pride was escorting another tall ship to Baltimore's Inner Harbor.
A magnificent sailing vessel of a traditional type but modern construction. Her name is Stad Amsterdam. She is a ship in the traditional definition of that word.
Cannons fired several times during the morning sail. It's a celebration after a funding shortage kept the wooden ship docked in 2018. Now the crew of 12 is climbing high.
And I was going up there to tie loose the main gaff topsail, which is a small sail we set above the mainsail that lives up there in like a bundle, and it requires somebody to sort of go free it.
Right by Fort McHenry, there's so much history to soak up.
We're on the very waters that the British bomb ships were on, trying to get into Baltimore during the War of 1812, and the only thing between those bombs and the city of Baltimore was this fort. The privateers sailed the oceans and wreaked havoc on the British merchant fleet during the War of 1812. And this particular ship is patterned after one that was called the Chasseur.
They're shaking out the cobwebs of this new season that follows a winter full of repair work. There's new paint on the deck. The electrical system was upgraded.
In order to continue on operating, we needed to change that storage battery system out.
There's a new head, and the crew lifted the deck house off so a new stove could replace the ship's 30-year-old diesel stove.
Rigged up was essentially a zip line that could carry the weight, and we raised the stove up on chain falls and then slid it across the water into the structure that we had set up over the hole.
It's home for the crew that commits to at least 6 months and will travel to the Great Lakes in June.
It's definitely a thing to get used to, right? Your working space and your living space are the same, and then you also share them with a bunch of people that come on board.
Pride II celebrated its 30th anniversary last year. The executive director says the funding is in place for a full sailing season.
The state of Maryland is bringing onto the table $500,000 a year for 5 years, and that is enough of a commitment that we're then able to raise the rest of the funds to close the gap.
Celebration on April 11th is one fundraiser to reach the $1.25 million the ship needs for the year. Well, the gangway is back out and the public is welcome to come on board for opening day of the Orioles season and on weekends through April and May before she leaves for the Great Lakes through September. The ambassador for Baltimore is back to work. For Chesapeake Bay Magazine's Bay Bulletin, I'm Cheryl Costello.